Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Tesla recently announced that they'll be opening up the charging network to other auto manufacturers. I think there's a chance this might have had something to do with the $7.5 billion earmarked for fast charging under the infrastructure bill, as it was only eligible to public charging networks. Tesla seem to be very good at taking advantage of any incentives that are available to them, and due to the fact they make emission-free vehicles, a lot seem to come their way. This decision has had mixed reviews from both Tesla investors and owners. Investors are concerned Tesla are giving away one of their major competitive advantages, and owners are concerned they'll have to wait longer at charging stations as there'll be a plethora of other vehicles that can now use Tesla's chargers. Whereas other investors see it as an extra source of income, and other owners assume it means there will simply be more chargers available for everyone through economies of scale. We do hear Elon often say Tesla's intention is not to build a walled garden to keep competitors out. The intention is to progress sustainable energy. And when it comes to EVs, well, there are a lot of vehicles to replace, a job that could possibly be too much, even for Tesla. So instead, Tesla are doing what they can by offering mainstream models at affordable prices that would cover the majority of people's requirements. They create these models with high economies of scale and are thus able to offer them at affordable prices. But Tesla will definitely leave gaps in the market. Therefore, Tesla will facilitate these markets as much as possible for the competition. A charging network is a major hurdle for an EV company, and no one is arguing that Tesla's is the best. And it would be silly having different charging stations for different manufacturers. So that is one major hurdle other EV manufacturers can bypass, but it won't be long until the main reason people are buying a Tesla is because it can drive itself, which is going to be another one of many major competitive advantages that Tesla has over the competition. But on AI Day, Elon said that if other car companies want to license it and use it in their cars, that would be cool. This is not intended to be limited to just Tesla cars, which is what I thought Tesla would do, as it is in line with their mission. In fact, it could be argued as morally wrong not to offer this software and hardware that is capable of saving lives, just to hurt the competition. Therefore, Tesla will offer their FSD to other manufacturers. This would likely include all the associated hardware, cameras, sensors, chips, and maybe screens, which would then effectively mean Tesla would run the operating system for each car using it. I'm not sure how well FSD might work with internal combustion either. It may only work for electric, and it may require Tesla's drivetrain and motor too, which could likely end up also meaning Tesla's batteries. Right, so we don't know to what level Tesla will open up their products. Are you essentially buying a Tesla, which might have, for example, just a Toyota shell and interior? But then the interior only needs to be so minimal in a Tesla anyway, and it's using Tesla's interface. So what's left? Seat design, exterior design, minimal interior design. But of course, Tesla can manufacture their cars cheaper than Toyota, and Tesla are going to want to take their commission on selling this equipment to Toyota as well. So what are you left with? A Toyota that costs more to make than a Tesla. The Tesla, however, has a 30% profit or more on the cars they make. So perhaps the Toyota can only squeeze in 10% at best, and that would be gross profit. But then why would someone want to spend more on a Toyota than a Tesla? Perhaps it might only be more prestige brands that could justify the expense of the Tesla setup. But for Tesla, making these platforms for other EVs might be easier for them than making full cars. Perhaps they can make 3 times as many EV platforms as actual complete EVs, and then sell them to the other manufacturers. Of course, it's really unlikely there are even going to be any other major manufacturers around, and all the other EV startups are so far from being anything substantial at this stage. But Tesla will likely only offer a handful of options as far as models are concerned to the public. Possibly only the Model 2, Cybertruck, Semi, Roadster and Van, on top of what they already have. This is a small range to offer, and people do like variety. According to a poll I ran with 100 Mach-E owners, they bought the Mach-E because they didn't like the design of the Tesla or wanted something different because everyone else had a Tesla. So perhaps that's it. Any other company can simply create their own shell on top of the Tesla platform, and for all that work, they might make 10% profit margins. Perhaps there'll be various platforms Tesla offer, from higher performance to low cost to long range, suitable from Ferrari to Rolls-Royce to Toyota. But I'm not sure the legacy companies will make it that far anyway, so it may be new startups, and they don't need to worry much about the technical side of the business. It's more just aesthetics, from interiors to exteriors. Then what brands would work? Could it be designers like Giorgio Armani? Or perhaps for the interior maybe, but not sure about the exterior. I can't think of any non-auto related brands that may cross over, to be honest. I considered LG, Samsung or Panasonic if they are making the batteries too, but if it's Tesla batteries, then they probably won't be so on brand. But something synonymous with elegance, sports or design perhaps could work. Let me know in the comments if you can think of any relevant brands. If Tesla reached level 5 autonomy, then no steering wheel is required either. If these third-party companies don't have to worry about any of the technology, then it's really just design and preferences that are the concern. There could be all sorts of applications open up. There could be the business brand, a car designed around being a mobile office, for example. Then perhaps a brand more synonymous with offices could design the car. Then there may be a brand that allows comfort in the form of perhaps a lie-flat bed, so you could sleep easily in your car, if that was something that was important to you. This is kind of like competition in some ways, at least in the way of functionality, but it's not going to create competition in the way of innovation when it comes to the Tesla side of the batteries, motors and FSD. On the other hand, how much more innovation do we really need? The cars would be incredibly safe at this stage. Tesla have perhaps reduced road fatalities to 1/10, around 40,000 deaths a year in the US to 4,000. The cars have zero emissions and are bordering on the physical limits of acceleration. Complement that with the boring tunnels, then in reality, it's pretty much as good as I could ever really imagine, or would ever want. But opening up the platform gives consumers more choice and allows them to differentiate themselves from others. And to be honest, this is the way I can see it going. There really doesn't appear to be any competition when you factor in FSD with the rest of it. Tesla could quite possibly be a monopoly. But we were just talking about passenger cars. Perhaps we're missing the point, and maybe it's more for commercial vehicles, diggers, tractors and other industry-specific vehicles. It's highly likely gas prices will increase and gas stations will go out of business, meaning gas is harder to get and it costs more. Everything will be forced to transition to cleaner energy. Let's get back to the original part of the FSD then. How would that work? Even if it's just a chip, camera, sensors and software, rather than the entire platform even, well, these manufacturers have no choice really. They're in serious trouble without it, because a self-driving car is going to be a must-have feature. Therefore, I would say that they possibly receive no commission on their customers ordering the FSD from Tesla. The $200 a month rental fee would go entirely to Tesla. Why would Tesla need to give a share of that to anyone else? The EV business is lucky that Tesla are letting them offer this service to their customers as it is. To expect to receive a commission in it too? I see no reason why they should. Tesla may even take a profit from the hardware they supply too. I mean, this manufacturer would have had to purchase it off some other third party anyway. Why does Tesla need to offer it at cost? But they get to offer autopilot as standard in all their vehicles, with the optional extra of Tesla FSD. And in case you didn't realize, after AI Day, there is going to be no FSD competition for Tesla. The likes of Mobileye and Waymo are finished, and anyone working for the competition, who is talented, are going to apply for jobs at Tesla now anyway. Why work on a sinking ship when there's somewhere else with so much more exciting opportunity? That was the point of AI Day, to take all the exceptional talent. Tesla didn't dumb down the event for a reason. I think this could finish Rivian too, and Jeff Bezos might be too stubborn to ever want to use Tesla's FSD, leaving Rivian and Amazon with a major disadvantage. And sure, Amazon doesn't have complete control over Rivian, but they do have full control over the order of the Amazon electric trucks from Rivian. So they potentially do have a lot of sway in the matter. In fact, I think Tesla could end AWS as well. The legacy companies too, if any are still around at this stage, they might struggle to swallow their pride and use Tesla's FSD or even Tesla's superchargers. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.